Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the PulseWave Report with yours truly, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger Reports. Well, as you know, today is pretty much the last real trading day of the week before Thanksgiving. I'm expecting that most people will be taking off today. The opening bell is just ringing right now as I'm speaking. You got your Dow down 73 points, S&P futures down 3, NASDAQ futures up 34 and a half, Russell futures down 8, and then you got gold futures up 5, silver is up 6 cents, and crude oil is up 67 cents. We're at $45.57 a barrel, which is incredible. Bitcoin futures composite index is at 19,220. We did hit 19,605 early in the morning. Nat gas is at $2.91. Soybeans right now holding steady, up a quarter right now at 11.91 and a half, and wheat is down 1 at 616 and 3/4, and corn's at 430 and 3/4, down 1 and 3/4 points. Long bond is up 8, 30 seconds at 174 and 11/30 seconds. The dollar, wow, the dollar got into the 91 handle. We had 91.40, 91.94 in the overnight. We're now at 92.14. You would think that maybe the Aussie and the pound would have enjoyed that news, but nah, they're down. Pound's down 19 pips and the Aussie's down 13 pips. So not a lot going on here. Euro is up 16 pips. Nothing really to talk about here, as it's the holidays. Markets will be closed tomorrow in observance of Thanksgiving. And of course, markets reopen on Friday for Black Friday, but I don't expect too much movement there either because it's the holiday. Nevertheless, PulseWave reports will go out tonight as normal because we got people all around the world, and any country outside of the U.S. doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, so they're going to be open. But I still expect muted markets overall. So just FYI there. One thing we need to talk about, though, is the censorship that's going on. If you haven't already noticed, if you haven't gotten a clue already, one of the rituals that the world is taking part in is wearing masks. When you wear these masks, what does it really symbolize? Well, first of all, when you wear the mask, it covers your mouth. So it is a censorship ritual that they're having the whole entire world to be forced to participate in. All right, they're letting you know that your voice is gone. They have removed your voice box. You no longer have a voice. You're only allowed to speak and parrot the party line, and that's it. Whatever is approved, that is what you can speak. Approved speech only. All right. This is the era that we're in. We're in a new era. This is the era of censorship. Free speech is a thing of the past. All right. Any speech that is other than the speech that they're given to you will not be tolerated. Why do you think all the news stations sound the same on the mainstream media? It's because they're reading from the exact same script. It doesn't matter what channel of news you're watching. They're all reading from the same script without any deviation from that script, because deviation from the script is not allowed. And that is the age that we find ourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Deviation from the script is not allowed. So they're conditioning you by having you wear these masks. You're also helping them to ROM out their data with their facial recognition technology, being able to read those eyes. All right. So that way, if people try to cover their face from cameras, they'll still be able to identify you. That's why this is going to go on as long as they need it to, until they're finished with their facial recognition technology, so they can be able to pick people out just by their eyes. Okay. So now you understand that you are being forced to participate in this, and they're using COVID as the perfect boogeyman. All right. So I got a question for you. Since when has the flu threatened us year long, year round? It never has. That's why they have a flu season. And then after the flu season, you don't hear anyone talking about it anymore. All right. But with COVID, it's been a year. All right. It's been a year. All right. We're going on 12 months, a year that we've been hearing about COVID. Nothing lasts that long, especially not something that has a 99% survival rate. Okay. I don't understand. I do not understand. All right, in our live stream, someone says, by the way, yesterday I was interrogated on the border before leaving the UK, not entering the UK. They allow people to leave UK only if travel is essential. All right, so we have one of our overseas listeners letting us know that the lockdowns are real and that the lockdowns are already in place in certain parts of the world. All right. This is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, the super rich are already seeking out second passports. You can get one for the low price of $100,000. Second passport. The super rich are already fleeing the country. They're fleeing the United States because now that Biden is officially in office, he is looking to tax the rich and to stifle and destroy small business. The mom and pop businesses will exist no more. They want to bring in socialism, which is the nicer word for communism. That's what they want. Marxism, they tell you, that's the word they use for social revolution. But again, communism, socialism are just nicer words for communism. It's just what it is, folks. You got to wake up and see what it is. So now that Google is officially owning YouTube, YouTube, as you know, has been attacking a lot of channels and all that good stuff. So now YouTube has suspended the One American News Network from posting new content for 1 week and has completely demonetized the channel after the pro-Trump News Network reportedly uploaded a video touting a non-approved cure for COVID-19. Now, according to Axios, YouTube has been criticized for allowing OANN to spread misinformation using its platform, particularly around coronavirus and the election, adding, "This marks the Google-owned service first crackdown against OANN." According to the Epoch Times, citing OANN President Charles Herein, YouTube took the extreme action of censoring a national cable news network for a video that was unlisted and not available publicly on YouTube. In addition to the temporary ban on videos, the network cannot live stream due to a strike received under YouTube's COVID-19 misinformation policy, which prohibits content claiming there is a guaranteed cure for the virus. The video in question has reportedly been removed. If OANN wants to remonetize the channel, they will need to reapply to YouTube's partner program. If they receive 2 more strikes, their account will be terminated. The cancel crew at Sleeping Giants, who seek to silence divergent opinions under the guise of fighting misinformation, celebrated, though not without knocking YouTube for not taking more aggressive action against the news network. Meanwhile, conservative news outlet The Federalist has jumped from YouTube to Rumble after years of throttling our page and restricting our reach, they say. Will half the country eventually wind up on Parrier or Rumble? That is a question. People are bailing and jumping out, getting out of YouTube and going to other platforms such as Rumble, such as Parler, such as BitChute. You know, that's where people are going. And you can't blame them. At least their free speech is not going to be censored on those sites, at least not for now, until the government cracks down and takes down those platforms. But in the meantime, here we go. Okay. That's funny. Mark in the live stream says Catherine Austin Fitz always said, have enough precious metals to bribe a border guard. That may work in some cases, but don't forget, they're only going to have the worst of the worst once we get to that point, guarding those borders, meaning that they're going to be programmed idiots. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to be drones. They're going to be sold out to the cause and willing to shoot you if necessary. All right, this is part of the Borg. It's part of the hive mind. That's why the propaganda is real. It's strong. And now that we know that Janet Yellen is being appointed as the Treasury Secretary, the country is definitely on its way down. Remember, this is the same Janet Yellen that told you there is a 0% chance of another financial crisis ever happening. And then she comes and says, well, you know, this is a real financial crisis we're going through right now. So she has been caught talking out of both sides of her neck. She has been caught contradicting herself, outright lying. She used to be the federal head. Don't forget that. Federal heads are masters of Jedi mind trick speech. All right, to the point where you have to decode what they're saying and use computer algorithms to pick apart what they're saying. It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. But this is where we are. So because he's picked her, he's letting you know what he's about right then and there. If you ever had any question on what this dude was really about, now you know. And yes, Trump is being ignored. He's been blowing the whistle. He's been saying, hey, foul ball, foul play. And they are ignoring him and marginalizing him. That's what they're doing. That's what they're good at. That's how they move. That's how they roll. You need to know this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a joke. It's not a game. It's getting real out here, folks. It's going to get to the point, and it's already getting to the point, where you won't be able to say anything. Anything that the government deems unsatisfactory will get you a strike, will get you in trouble. You won't be able to. They're even in the process right now, as we speak. They're gearing up because they want to be able to control your speech, not just when you're online. They want to control your speech at all times, even in the privacy of your own home. Sit around the dinner table with your family. They want to control your speech there too. If you say anything out of line, they want to get you for it. You'll say, how will they know? Well, because pretty much everybody has an Alexa or some type of Google device, some device in their home, some smart device that listens in on everything that you say. And for those who say, well, I don't have none of that stuff, my house is not smart, I live in a dumb house. That all may be well and good. You may say, I don't have the internet, I don't have a TV, I'm good. Yeah, but the one thing that everybody has is a smartphone. Your smartphone is snitching on you too. Your smartphone is listening to you, and your smartphone is also taping you. All right, so you got audio, video of you at all times by using just your smartphone alone. And yes, the technology is already available. You've already been using it. You've used your Alexa. You've been using those type of devices. And you use it freely. You say, I don't have anything to hide. It's not about having anything to hide. It's about having some privacy. As an adult, as a human being, you are entitled to privacy. No one has a right to infringe to your personal space. But the government wants to take away personal space. They want to outlaw personal space. The government wants to give itself access to you at all times. No privacy, no right to privacy, no personal space. This is real, folks, and you have to start gearing up and getting ready for it. We're getting closer to that wall of the haves and the have-nots. It's going to get to that place where the universal basic income is going to come knocking. It's going to come. It's going to be here before you know it. And most people are going to say, "Oh, this is so great. This is so amazing." But because most people don't know anything about economics and finance, they're going to blow through that money. It's going to go right through their fingers. They'll be gambling with it, buying lottery tickets with it, playing CeeLo with it, playing the roulette wheel with it, online gambling with it, spending most of their money on the peep shows. You bet peep shows. No one, that doesn't exist anymore. You a lie. It does exist. It just has a different name. It's called fans only accounts. People gonna be spending money on fans only pages. Yep. The money's gonna flow right out of their hands. And they'll be like, well, I can do that because this money comes to me once a month or however they decide to do it, every week, 2 weeks, whatever. Because remember, they're going to want to stimulate the economy. So they're probably going to do it like they're probably going to have it roll out like an unemployment benefit. How unemployment benefits roll out every week. They're going to have it roll out every week because remember, they're going to need to stimulate the economy and have that artificial stimulus going in the economy. So the basic universal income will be that artificial stimulus to the economy because if you know you got money coming every week, you don't mind spending. You don't mind going out and buying stuff. And there'll be no need for you to hoard anything because you know guaranteed no matter what, you got that universal basic income coming every week, like an unemployment check. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Nothing in life is free. Everything costs something. The cost is your freedom. You're going to exchange all of your freedom, all of your constitutional rights. You're going to give that away for that basic universal income. Because what's going to happen is the jobs, as you already know, are being obliterated. They're going away and they're never coming back. They've been conditioning you to be okay with that, to understand that there is no going back. They call it your new normal. All right. Your new normal is going to be this. The government's going to take care of you, but you need to agree to abide by our rules. One of those rules will be no unapproved speech. Doesn't matter if you're on the internet. Doesn't matter if you're in the comfort of your own home. No more privacy. No more privacy. No more constitutional rights. No more privacy. You're going to have to agree to no more privacy. Not only will they continue reading your emails and listening to your phone calls, but they're going to be listening to what you do when you're not on the phone, when you're not on the internet, when you're not on social media. And you're going to have to be okay with that. And you're going to have to agree to become vaccinated. Every time they come out for new vaccine or immunization, you're going to have to get it. You're going to have to be up to date on all your immunizations and vaccinations. It will be mandatory if you want to keep receiving the basic universal income. You're going to have to say, I am a member of this new society and I will abide by the new society's rules. That is what it's going to cost you because nothing is free. Everything costs something. And you will have to be willing to sell your soul to the new system, to the new world order, to the governing body. The governing body wants to be your God. And people are going to be clamoring for this. They're going to be praising the powers that be for this. Thank you so much for the bread and circus. You talking about stimulating the economy, that's really going to stimulate the economy. Because people are going to go out and spend. They're going to spend, going to be like, hey, I can afford to do it. I got money coming in every week. Who cares if I blow it all today? Monday will be here and I'll get another check. I'll be good to go. That's how people think. You ever just observed how people treat community property versus how they treat their own personal private property? It's a huge difference. You're not going to tear up your own private property, but you will tear up community property, public property. You don't care. It's one of the reasons why people don't mind, tearing up rental cars. They'll drive it any old way, but they wouldn't drive their own vehicle that way or treat their own vehicle that way. So there's a big difference between yours and someone else's. But you're going to have to agree to say goodbye to personal private property as well. No more private property. Your property rights will vanish in thin air, just like all your other rights. You're not going to own anything, and you're going to love it because you're not going to miss it, because your government is going to provide you everything you need. But you will own nothing. They got to do away with property rights. No more private property. No more personal property. Everyone will become a ward of the state. The state will take care of you. Everyone's going to become an orphan, and the state will have to adopt you and take care of you in exchange for you agreeing to do whatever they say and take whatever jabs they want to hit you with. Here's a jab for this flu, for that flu, for this illness, for that illness. Here's a jab against this, a jab against that. Here's a jab against this. If you are a Trump lover, here's a jab for you. And yes, it's mandatory. You have to take it. Here's another jab if you believe in flat earth. Here's another jab if you are religious and you believe in the God of the Bible. Here's another jab if you believe in whatever, or you like whatever that we don't like for you to like. Here's a jab for that too. By the time they're finished with you, you will be a zombie. You'll be walking around zombified, out of your mind. You'll be walking around in a constant, continual state of unconsciousness. Just remember that. That's what they want you to be. That's what they want. They want zombies. A zombie's not thinking. They feel too good to think. I wouldn't be surprised if they came up with a weekly vaccine. It must go on. You must have it every day for the rest of your life, a weekly vaccine. This weekly vaccine will keep you high as a kite and feeling good with not a care or a worry in the world. You will be incapable of deep conversation, deep thought, or any intellectual exercise whatsoever. You will remain in an altered state of consciousness for the remainder of your life. Prepare yourself for the weekly vaccines, weekly vaccinations, ladies and gentlemen. They got to keep you high while they talk the business. This is coming. I hope you're prepared for it. They're not joking around. They're not joking around. This is why I say if you want to break from it, there will be an opportunity to, but it's going to be so costly. Most people won't have the money, the ducats to get in, like the golden parachute passport I just announced to you. If you want that, it's going to cost you $100,000 minimum, maybe more. If you don't have that money, then you can't have it. At some point, they'll have a golden vaccine get out of jail free card as well. So if you don't want to be vaccinated, but you want to be part of the program, still operating in society, then you got to pay a lot of money for that too. Like I always say, wouldn't you rather have the money and not need the money than to need the money and not have the money? How are you going to get the money? If you are on a limited income, how are you going to afford to do anything? You're going to have to depend on the government for everything. But if you want to have some type of independence and not just be limited to what the government is giving you in handouts, you're going to have an income stream. Where's that income stream coming from if there's no jobs? Hence the whole reason why they got the basic universal income that program going. The only other thing, and forget real estate, no more personal property. Remember, I told you about that. You're not going to own anything. The only thing you'll be able to do is participate in the markets, because that's the only thing that isn't going anywhere. But most people are going to be permanently shut out of the market once they go on the basic universal income, because they won't have any money for that. They only have money for their basic needs and necessities. They won't have any disposable income, no risk capital anywhere. What meager savings you may have will just be that meager savings, but it won't be risk capital, because if you lost it, it would change your lifestyle. Risk capital is defined as money set aside for investing purposes. And if you lose it all, it's not going to change your lifestyle. How many people can say that they have that? I've been on YouTube for a decade now, pleading with people, hey, while you still have the chance, you need to come see me. Come learn how to get into these markets and make money. The time's coming when you're not going to have the money. You're not going to be able to do it. And you're going to be kicking yourself and wishing that you would have listened in the beginning when I told you to come on up over here and get some of this money. All right? I'm trying to tell y'all. Remember, the markets were built for the elite, my man. They never really wanted the public to play in their sandbox. They only opened that up because of the greed. They saw the money signs. Well, the elite right now are, the ones moving the market. But if we had the average person come in, and there's 6 billion people on the planet, that's 6 billion round turns that we can get commissions on. That was the old game plan, the old business model. But now they're taking away commissions, so now they have to operate like a bank. So you still say, hey, well, we open up to the public, we have 6 billion accounts that we can, run some fractional reserve banking on. So they still want the little man in the market, but they want him in the market. They're doing it under duress. They're doing it because they're greedy, but they're also they don't want it. They don't want you really making money. They don't really want it, but they know out of necessity, they have to get that money. They got to get those ends. So they need you to open an account so they can use that money. All right, so that's what it is. And you're right. The average person will not be able to make any money in the markets because more than half the population will be broke. You're right, my man. In the live chat, you are right. That's what I'm saying right now. You need to get in while the getting is still good so that once that time comes, you won't have to worry. You won't be limited to the universal basic income. That won't be your only means and source of income. You dig what I'm saying to you? So just saying. I already told you they're coming for your pensions. They're coming for all of that. Entitlements, everything. They want it all. They want to be the ones in control. Pensions are a thing of the past anyway. You can say goodbye to all of that. They are going to screw as many people as possible. A lot of government workers are like, yeah, I have it good because I'm about to retire. I got this government pension. I got this 401k. I got all these things. I'm looking good. Nope. Your government's going to stab you in the back too. You think they love you? You think you are some elitist that they hooked you up and they took care of you and you don't have nothing to worry about? No. You forgot. The government is not permanent job. It's not job security. Have you forgotten the 1990s when the government laid off hundreds of thousands of employees and closed government agencies for good? There are government agencies that existed in the 90s that no longer exist today. Have you forgotten that? They got to have you dependent on them too. So what they're going to do is they're going to take away those pensions. The pensions are going to go belly up. The pension funds are going to go belly up. I've already told you that. All of it's going belly up. 401k, everything going belly up. Because they got to get you on the basic universal income as well. They got to bring you down to the level of everyone else. That's the plan. See, they can't do that if you're making money in the markets. Because that's your account. That's your money. They don't control that. But they know that most people are not going to be in the markets. Because most people don't know how to navigate these algorithmic markets. So even if they make money, they're going to give it all back to the system because they don't know how to manage positions. They know nothing. They were never taught how because they don't teach you. They don't teach you that stuff in college. You can have an MBA. Great. You can even be an economist coming out of college, coming out of university. They don't teach you how to trade the markets. No, not at all. Nope. The only way you'll learn that is get in there yourself and you hope that after you've blown through a couple of 100,000 that you figure something out? Chances are no. Trading has a very high failure rate in the 90s percentage, 95, some even say 99. Yeah, you gotta get up with someone who's willing to show you how to do it. That's really the only way. There's no guarantee. You can spend 20, 30 years researching and trying to figure out how to make money consistently in these markets. There's no, and most people fail. I don't care how brilliant you are, how smart you are, how gifted you are. That doesn't mean anything. Some of the dumbest people in the world have created methodologies to take money out of these markets consistently. And that's just a fact. So all I'm saying to you is, you don't wait to the last minute and then decide to do something. You need to do what you need to do while you still have the wherewithal to do it. Because if you wait to the last minute, it'll be too late. That's what I'm saying. The door will be closing at some point around the time of that basic universal income. You won't be, if you don't already have a trading account, you won't even be allowed to open one in most places. I'm just saying. They're going to wrap and sew everything up so that you can't go to the right or to the left. They want to be the only source. The government wants you to be the only source that you can come to. They want to cut off all your other channels. But if you already have an account going into that point, there's nothing they can do. But if you don't already have one and you're on basic universal income, no broker will do business with you. Sorry. You're on basic universal income. You're on a fixed income. You're like an elderly person who all they have is Social Security. No one's going to touch you with a 10-foot pole. But if you would have opened that account when you had the job and the income, you'd have been all right. Just saying. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And you need to understand that at the end of the day, gold, silver, and Bitcoin are markets. They're markets first. I know that gold and silver are dual apparatuses, meaning that they are commodities, but they're also technically currencies. And they both have intrinsic value. They will never be worthless because they are rare resources with alternate uses. Silver goes into a lot of things, and gold can be used for a lot of things. Gold is mostly jewelry, things like that, but it has alternative uses, like I said. So does silver. And for thousands of years, gold and silver were considered money. So they have intrinsic value. They're considered a currency, but they're also considered a commodity because they are rare and have alternative uses. Bitcoin, however, technically has no intrinsic value because it's just digits, zeros and ones. It's code, computer code. However, it does act as currency because in limited places, you can transact business with Bitcoin. You can pay bills in some situations with Bitcoin. You can buy a sandwich in some situations with Bitcoin. So because of that, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, technically are currencies. All right. They are, but they operate more like a fiat in that there's no intrinsic value in them. Except for that, if you don't have the internet and if you don't have a computer, you can't use it. All right. See, that's the one leg up that traditional fiat has on digital currencies. Digital currencies, you can only use them if you have electricity. All right. You got to have electricity. You got to have an energy source to use cryptocurrencies. Once again, you must have an energy source in order to use cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Traditional fiat does not require the internet or electricity or any kind of energy source. I can take a $20 bill out of my billfold and hand it to you in exchange for goods and services. I can't hand you a Bitcoin because there is no physical, tangible Bitcoin or physical, tangible altcoin that I can say, here you go. Here's 3 Ethereum. Thank you for my sandwich. Have a nice day. No, you need electricity. You need an energy source. You need computers in order to use it. That is the limitation. That's why it doesn't really have any physical intrinsic value in that regard. Not saying it's not good, it's not valuable. It is the future, and that's just where you're going, whether you like it or not. Blockchain is the wave of the future. But with that said, like I said, you can't ignore that, because that was always what people would always say. Well, you can't buy a sandwich with Bitcoin. I beg to differ. Oh, yes, you can. Now you can. Maybe you couldn't before, but you sure can now. Plenty of establishments are taking Bitcoin for payment. So that argument is out of the window. Can't use that argument anymore. Even though it's limited, it's not worldwide, but it is there now. You can transact business with it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yep. Just want to throw that out there. Okay. So just in case you didn't know, in case you had it twisted and you didn't know, well, now you know. All right. It is what it is. You can transact your business. You can do what you need to do. All right. Some people didn't know that. Well, now you do. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Y'all remember that show. So I say that to say, folks, you're going to have to understand how things work if you're going to make them, work in your favor. So I try to do it as much as possible. I try to help as much as possible. I do what I can. I do what I can. All right, so just something to think about as we go into the holiday. Hopefully you'll take time to hang with friends and family and chill out, hopefully you'll be able to do that. Hopefully you're not alone. And if you do live alone, if you are alone, as long as you have friends and family, you're not really truly alone. You know what I'm saying? You're not really alone. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like that for you. So that's all I'm saying. You can pour yourself into other relationships and things like that. You don't have to just, be alone. There's always someone on this earth that loves you. So you don't have to be alone. All right. Just want to put that out there on the table for y'all in case you didn't know. Just want to encourage you. I know sometimes we talk about deep things, powerful things, but I just want to also encourage you in the process. All right. Life is short. If you live to be 100, still short. Again, whenever I give you what I think when it comes to the markets, I'm talking about from a trader's perspective. And my opinion and my outlook, my time horizon is minute to minute, day to day. So I still think that gold, silver, and Bitcoin altcoins are wonderful vehicles to trade with. However, I can only really tell you what the short term is. I like giving you the longer term approaches when I do my chart segments in the evening. But at the end of the day, I can only tell you from day to day what's what. You know what I mean? So now, this morning, today, do I like gold and silver? The answer is no, because we have a sell bias in the market. So I don't like them from a long position. I'm not looking to buy gold and silver today. I don't like them today as far as putting on a long position. What about the Bitcoin? Do you like Bitcoin today? I like Bitcoin today. Now, because not putting any trades on ahead of the holiday, I don't like it, meaning that I'm not looking to buy it today. All right. So I would not be looking to buy anything today because it's the holiday. If anything, I'm managing open positions and getting out. But longer term, do I like gold and silver and Bitcoin? Of course, because they're wonderful trading vehicles. So of course I like them. But do I think they're going to go up in value in the near term? In the near term for gold and silver, nah, it's looking like they're going to really crash and burn hard. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's looking like it's going to continue to go. Like I said, I think it's going to take out the old high, and then we're going to build a support zone around 22,000 to 20,000. 20 to 22,000 is going to end up being the new floor, the new support zone for the Bitcoin, all things being equal, unless something comes out of nowhere left field and changes that. Right now, the trajectory that the Bitcoin is on is suggesting that 20,000 and between 20 and 22,000 will be the new support zone for Bitcoin moving forward on its march to 50,000. So I do see Bitcoin doubling in price at some point. But I'm looking 12 to 18 months out. Of course, anything can happen, but that's what I'm looking at. Now, again, because gold and silver is money, technically speaking, it's never a bad time to acquire physicals. When we talk about gold and silver, we have to separate the paper markets, the trading paper markets from the physical markets. When is a good time to buy gold and silver? Anytime. If you're a stacker, you already know the rules of stacking. You like to wait till it's getting broken down before you buy some. Well, gold and silver got broke down this week, so technically speaking, today will be a nice day to acquire some physicals. It's always a good time to acquire physicals. You never want to sell physicals, not unless you are in a Mad Max situation. But you never surrender your gold and silver physicals. Ever, never, ever. That's what the paper markets are for. You need to raise cash, then you need to go in here and you need to trade these paper markets. Trade GLD or SLV or trade gold and silver futures. They have gold and silver micro mini futures you can trade now too. All right, so there's a gold and silver paper market for just about any size pocketbook that you can go into and you can raise money that way. So if you're a stacker and you've never traded it before, you can open up an account, and when it looks like gold or silver is going to get smacked down, you can go and you can short the futures, the micro futures, and you can make money as it's falling down. And that will help insulate you also from downside risk of your physicals. And that's how you raise money. So if you need cash, you just trade the gold and silver paper market. All right, same thing with Bitcoin. You trade your Bitcoin. There's methodologies for that too. You come to PulseWave Trading if you want to learn more about that one. So yeah, longer term, I'm always going to like gold and silver and the crypto market because they are wonderful trading vehicles. So I will always like them. I will never not like them. All right, just because again, gold and silver at the end of the day is money. Technically speaking, gold and silver is money and nothing else. If you want to be technical about it, fiat is not real money. Fiat is used as a means of exchange for goods and services. That's it. But it has no intrinsic value. That silver has industrial intrinsic value. I can go and I can offload my silver to some manufacturer like catalytic converters or something, and they'll pay me for it. They'll say, thanks, great. I needed some more silver. Nice doing business with you. Or I could take that gold to some manufacturer who makes jewelry or something. They'll say, thank you so much. I took the gold that you gave me, I melted it down, and look at this beautiful necklace I made. See what I'm saying? Has intrinsic value. Gold and silver will always have intrinsic value. Always, 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 always. Fiat won't. Fiat won't. Your fiat won't necessarily be here when you want it to, when you need it to. Just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, you guys, I always love talking to you guys. I can never say enough. There's always something to talk about, right? There's always something to deal with. So I just want to give y'all, encouragement, and I hope everyone takes this time to enjoy the 4-day weekend. Get out there and chillax, chill on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Friday is Black Friday. People are going to be out there shopping, but not like you think. But then again, I don't know. I don't think we're going to have the circus that we've had in decades past, with people getting trampled to death and all that. But there will be some shopping. There'll be some online shopping. Even though people are broken, don't have no money, it's a mystery that all these PlayStations and Xboxes, next gen, is flying off the shelves in the warehouses. And these things are $500 a pop. The video games range from $70 to $100 a pop. I don't know where they're getting the money from. I have no idea, but they're flying off the shelf. People are spending money. People are still buying homes. People are still getting married. People are still going on whatever vacation they can go on. People are still spending a lot of money. Those who have it anyway. So even though things look very dire for the future, they're not necessarily dire right now at this moment. So enjoy what you can when you can. And just take some time to chill out this weekend. You got a 4-day weekend coming up, folks. No, ain't nobody going to be home on Friday. There's going to be no trading on Friday. It's going to be very thin volume. If any movement, it's all computers on autopilot. No one's going to be in there banging it out. As you know, I don't put out new positions on Friday either. But because we have people that are not in the States, I still got to put out the PulseWave reports, and I will do so. So tonight, I will put out the PulseWave report for Thursday, and if you're in the States, it'll be for Friday. And if there's anything that's like major happens, then I'll put out another one tomorrow night for Friday. But I may not. It depends on if anything big happens, then I'll do it. But if it doesn't, then I won't. So the report that goes out tonight will be for everyone else, for everyone outside of the United States for tomorrow's trading. And if you're here in the U.S., obviously the equity market will be closed so it will be for trading for Friday for you, for those that trade U.S. equities. All right. So with that being said, you know what it is, man. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I am out. Peace.